Hey everybody, it's Isis with IRB Gamer, and we're here at PAX West in Seattle, Washington, and I'm here with Nick. For people who are familiar with it, we know what Medieval was back then. Could you tell us what it's like now?
Medieval, specifically what we're doing for PS4, it's kind of like a 4K throwback to a lot of those, like, I would say early but mid-gen PS1 games. I've been telling a lot of people it's kind of challenging. It is an action-adventure title, so, character action, but it's very different. The combat's very, very loose. There's lots of puzzle elements to it. There's lots of adventure elements. The game actually has an open-ended structure, so you go linear through some levels and then it kind of opens up, so you go back and forth. It's a story of Sir Dan, this kind of disgraced knight who dies at the beginning of this battle, takes an arrow right through the eye, which is why he only has one eye, and then gets accidentally resurrected when this necromancer basically resurrects him from the dead. So he's kind of there to redeem himself, to save the land, and it's this pretty funny story. All the characters in the game kind of make fun of him as he's going through and give him crap, but he's there to save the day, and it's a pretty funny game. Yeah, it's good to get your hands on it if you have a chance.
And there's a lot of games being revitalized recently with Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and so a lot of the concerns that some of the older fans might have is how true to the originals are you keeping them? How would you say that compares to Medieval now versus Medieval then?
Yeah. Extremely authentic, and that was actually one of the key pillars of the game design, was to make it feel like Medieval felt on the PS1. So you pick this up, Dan looks amazing, but he feels like he did back in the day. Very deliberate reasons for that, design-wise, and you'll see as you play through it. The dev team constantly tells me that every time they would think about altering or changing something, they found out that there was a very specific reason why they couldn't do that. So if you're familiar with the PS1 game, you're going to be right at home. If you're not familiar with the PS1 game, it might take a little bit getting used to, but once you have control of Dan, you see how he works, you check out his weapons, you'll be right at home, you'll do great.
Do you have any advice for anybody who has never played Medieval? Anything that you might want to tell them to just let them know about really what Medieval is and why if they haven't played the original, why it would still be worthwhile?
Yeah, absolutely. So the game is wild. All sorts of different design decisions in here. Like I was mentioning, lots of variety in gameplay. The game is tough. Like I was saying, no checkpoints in the middle of stages. So like back on the PS1, that save card would save between the memory card between each stage, right? So you're really supposed to go through the stages pretty methodically, using your shield. A lot of people forget about you can use your shield. You will take damage from enemies, like you can't avoid that, so you really want to be careful. You want to collect all the optional weapons in the game. Some of those bosses are really tough, and just explore and take your time with it. The more you rush through Medieval, the more you get Dan's bony butt kicked. But Dan was never a fighter back when he was alive, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, take your time, play methodically. This is one of those games where I would have had a strategy guide when I played it back in the day, and we've actually designed it so that you could play it still with those original strategy guides and make it through the game just fine. So if you have trouble with things, look it up. Some of those puzzles are tough, and just have fun with it. It's supposed to be a throwback, so don't get frustrated because you can't figure something out. You have to work for it. But that's my advice. Be patient, look stuff up, have a good time with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different era in gaming. So can you go ahead and give me the price point and release date for Medieval?
Absolutely. We are at $29.99 for the standard edition. There's a digital deluxe on the PlayStation Store that's $39.99, has a bunch of extra stuff in it, and we are out on October 25th, just in time for Halloween.
Sensational. Great. All right. Well, thanks for talking with me, Dan. It's been great seeing you and talking to you here at PAX.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a good time.
Nice to see you.